Hi, and welcome to Working Together to Accommodate Special Dietary Needs. I'm Linda Krieger, one of the nutrition consultants on the school nutrition team. Before we get started, I want to mention that you may also want to look at the webcast titled Looking at Special Dietary Needs Through Different Eyes. That particular webcast focuses specifically on different dietary needs and what those needs are, and also the required documentation for accommodation of those needs. Learning about the nature and severity of the child's special dietary needs and working together to provide what's best for the child should always be the major focus. Schools who participate in the National School Lunch Program must make substitutions of foods in the reimbursable meal for students who have a disability that restricts their diet. Under no circumstances are school food service staff to revise or change a diet prescription or medical order. Never second-guess the physician. Again, if you are unclear about what the statement is directing you to do, or it isn't specific enough or detailed enough, you need to contact the parent or guardian to find out who to contact for clarification. Sometimes the parent or guardian can be your first line of communication, and they can make the clarification for you very easily. If you still need more information, you may not be able to contact the physician directly because of HIPAA laws. However, the family may be able to work with you to get the information from the physician, or you may all be able to work together with a clinical dietitian or health team working specifically with this child. If you interpret or revise the diet order on your own and something goes wrong, unfortunately you may be opening the door for a liability suit. Although a possibility, this is one of the last concerns we want to have when dealing with special dietary accommodations. I can't stress enough how important it is to keep lines of communication open. You can just imagine, if you're a parent of a child, that you fear always for the safety and well-being of your child. Sometimes situations can become very volatile, often based on fear or lack of knowledge. If everyone can remember to remain focused on the needs of the child, this can become a great opportunity for learning and growth on the part of everyone involved. It is critical to form partnerships and define who has what responsibilities. On this slide, we've identified some of the people who may be involved on the special diet management team. It will definitely include the parents and student, the school administration, possibly a school nurse, school food service staff, teacher, doctor, some other people not identified on this slide, but who also may be players on this management team, can include your vendors. It may include bus drivers. It may include playground, lunch, and teacher aides. Again, placing yourself in the shoes of the parent, it's important to make sure that you can help keep the parent or guardian as comfortable when dealing with these situations as possible. Some ways that you may find that are helpful for doing that is invite both the student and the parents to tour the school kitchen and cafeteria before school even starts for the school year, and meet with the staff to inquire about policies currently in place regarding food allergies. Many times when students are coming into your school new, the parents or guardians have no idea what steps you may have already taken. Discuss with the parents how to best handle the identification of their child to ensure they receive appropriate meals. What would they be comfortable with? Would it be a picture of their child and a statement telling more about the child's special dietary needs posted within the kitchen area? Could you put information on the computer screen that identifies the child's food allergies or other special dietary needs? Again, some parents may not want their child very overtly identified, so you'll want to work directly with each individual parent or guardian to determine what will work best in this situation. You want to reinforce to the parents how important it is to you that the child know his or her potential food allergy triggers and how they may identify them to the school staff. Find out if the child has a medical bracelet or necklace that identifies the specific allergy or dietary accommodation needed. Provide parents an open invitation to join their child for breakfast or lunch at any time during the school year. So what might be some causes of accidental exposures? Sometimes not reading an ingredient label to be sure the food is allergen-free. There may be food trading going on in the cafeteria. Sometimes there will be inaccurate labeling of food products. Also, contamination from other foods from improperly cleaned utensils and table surfaces. These are all situations that you want to be aware of and work with the family to help minimize any of these causes of accidental exposures. Managing food allergies in the cafeteria involves being able to read the food labels, knowing what to avoid and substitute, preparing your kitchen, how you will identify the student, and developing cleaning procedures. This is the point where consulting with the physician, dietitian, and parent can be most helpful. By going over your menus, they can help you to identify menu items that may be potential problems. You may be asked to provide copies of ingredient labels and/or recipes for them to review as well. The Food Allergy and Anaphylactic Network has laminated cards available for each of the major food allergens that list the various terms to watch for when reading a label. Sometimes schools have been asked to provide carbohydrate counts or a nutrient analysis for each of their menus or menu items in cases of diabetic diets. However, this is not always possible. Asking the school to provide an exact count of all carbs of each product falls outside of the school food service personnel's responsibilities. The school food service can and should provide the physician, dietitian, or parent with menus, recipes, and product labels for items that are being used, so the child's health team can interpret the carb counts based on the system being used for that specific child to manage their diet. You will also want to, again, discuss with parents or guardians as to how far you can go in identifying their student. Some districts have found that posting pictures or overtly identifying these students has met with resistance. So again, you want to handle each situation independently. Food safety and sanitation concerns in dealing with special diets. Some of the things that you will want to make sure that you're very aware of and may even want to develop standard operating procedures to include in your food safety plan are listed in this slide. You want to make sure that you're preventing cross-contamination by a known food allergen with other food items that will be served to a child with a documented food allergy. How is special equipment that's used for modifying food cleaned and sanitized? You want to be cautious if there's any transporting of food items involved, making sure that there is temperature control as well as other food safety steps to be taken. Is there a need to hold food items, both hot and cold, for special diets? If so, again, you want to make sure that you're managing both time and temperature. Is there handling of any previously cooked food items? Will these food items be reheated? Is there a prolonged feeding or service time? Sometimes we also find that special dietary meals are offered to students in a different setting, perhaps in the classroom or another area, and special feeding devices may be used. You want to make sure that there are steps in place to make sure that they're properly cleaned, sanitized, and stored. This may be handled by someone else within your school, but you want to make sure that you've touched base with them and let them know, if necessary, that those items could be run through your dishwasher or whatever process you're using within your kitchen. So what are the school food service responsibilities? You want to make sure that staff understand the basics of the food allergies or other special dietary accommodations being requested. You'll want to meet with the parents and learn about the special diet. and make sure that you have the required documentation from the licensed physician. Learn how to read labels. Learn to identify the products that are of concern for the special diets that you're dealing with. You may need to establish an allergy-free zone within your kitchen where foods for that particular child or children are prepared. You may need to develop strategies for accommodating a food allergic student. Consider how to identify the student with the special dietary needs. Most important of all, make sure that you know the emergency plan of action and how it involves food service staff. Who do you contact? How do you contact them? You may need to understand differences between food textures depending on what requests you've been receiving. You may need to meet with the school nurse and, if necessary, the teachers to ensure everyone's understanding of the diet. Assist in training your staff so that they feel comfortable also in accommodating special diet needs. You want to ensure that there is no cross-contamination between food, equipment, food trays, etc., and ensure proper sanitation procedures for preparation and service of special diet meals. In the kitchen, use the parent or guardian's expertise in managing child's food allergies. Listen to them and take their advice. Read ingredient labels for all foods you get in, and again, ask the parents or guardians if they will help you in identifying any possible contaminants. Learn to recognize the synonyms for foods that commonly cause allergic reactions. You may want to designate 1 or 2 people to be responsible for the special diets, but train everyone. Create a separate storage space for allergy-free foods. Create separate preparation areas if necessary in order to avoid cross-contamination. Make sure you're communicating with serving line staff, with the school nurse and classroom staff, and always encourage thorough hand washing. Again, it's critical that you understand the emergency plan that's in place and be prepared to act on it should that become necessary. In the cafeteria, you want to take steps to make sure that cafeteria tables are cleaned and sanitized. And again, minimize or avoid any chances for cross-contamination. Communicate again with the school nurse, classroom staff, and kitchen staff. You want to discourage food trading, especially with a child with a food allergy. Encourage thorough hand washing. Identify students with special diets in a way that does not compromise their privacy. Learn to recognize symptoms of an allergic reaction and be prepared to intervene in case of harassment. Again, understand the emergency plan, know your part in it, and be prepared to act on it. The Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network provides a lot of different resources for children with food allergies. Their statement is you need to always be prepared. The school needs to make sure that a plan is in place should the child have an adverse reaction at any point during the school day. It could be an allergic reaction, choking, a diabetic reaction. Until there is a cure, education is the key. So you want everyone to be trained and comfortable. Some classroom issues that may or may not involve food service could be eating and or sharing food in the classrooms. Again, making sure that food trading or that cross-contamination isn't an issue. You want to just maybe remind teachers about the child's food allergy in case they're using food in class projects, celebrations, and activities. Depending on the classroom and the setting, you may need to designate allergen-free areas. It's good to check on who cleans desks, chairs, tables, etc., and how they're cleaned. Sometimes the parent or guardian will be very willing to provide peer education about food allergies. Again, you'll want to always be aware of the confidentiality of the student's identity. You may want to encourage the parent or student support of making sure that the child with the food allergy or with other special dietary needs is treated respectfully. And there may be issues of meals on field trips. Again, this is something where food service could step in and help to prepare a lunch specific for that child. Again, on the school bus, this may or may not involve food service, but something for everyone to be aware of. Are there policies concerning having food on the bus or sharing food on the bus? Is there assigned seating? What is the bus driver's procedure for contacting 911? Are bus monitors trained to deal with special reactions to either food allergies or diabetic reactions? It's important that you get to learn how the children in your school that have special dietary needs might describe an allergic reaction. Sometimes very young children will put their hands in their mouths or pull or scratch at their tongue. Also, their voice might change or they may slur their words. And this is just helpful in understanding some of these things in case you are the first one to recognize this particular allergic reaction. They may make statements like, the food is too spicy, my tongue itches, my mouth feels funny, there's a frog in my throat, there's something stuck in my throat, my throat feels thick, my tongue feels full. So you may want to be aware of these different ways that the child may recognize that they're having an allergic reaction and may communicate to you. It's important that everyone knows what medications there might be and where they're stored. If a student has an EpiPen, where is it stored? Who do you contact if you see a need for the child to receive the epinephrine? Is it easily accessible in an emergency? Probably your school nurse will be checking the expiration dates on an EpiPen. You want the staff to be able to be trained in both recognizing a reaction and knowing what part they play in a response. How available is a school nurse or health aide to you? And do you know how to contact them? And knowing the school's emergency protocol. We often are asked in our office whether or not it would be possible to ban a particular food item from a school. This too can become a very volatile issue. And so I'm putting forth these things to consider if you're thinking at all of considering a ban on a food item. This information came from the Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network, and it's concerns that need to be addressed if you are considering a ban on a food product. First of all, a ban creates a very false sense of security. In banning, be aware that this means much more than banning, for instance, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or peanut butter cookies. In schools where peanuts have been banned, accidental ingestion causing anaphylactic reactions have occurred from baked goods and candies purchased from the school store or given out as classroom treats or treats from the bus driver. Peanut butter or products with peanuts in the ingredients have been used in classroom projects and art projects. The viscosity of peanut butter presents particular challenges in terms of cross-contamination and cleaning. Children and staff can have residue on their hands from a food item eaten at home for breakfast, which can set off a reaction if it comes in contact with a child who is that severely sensitive. Peanut butter on a child's hand could be transferred to a soccer ball or a jump rope. So be aware that banning a food item may take a lot more cautiousness and checking of food items throughout the school and the school day. A ban can pit parent against parent. It can be a very divisive force when what we need is the cooperation of everyone in the school to form a safety net around the child at risk. A training program where everyone understands what foods cause food allergies, what are the symptoms of an allergic reaction, and what action to take, and where medications are stored, unites people to work together. In order for a ban to work, as I mentioned previously, one would have to have everyone in the school constantly reading ingredient labels and calling manufacturers to determine if products contain any of the offending food. Who in your school wants the responsibility of being the food police, looking in all bag lunches, making sure that hands are clean as children get on the school bus, checking every food item that comes in and out of your school for any possible allergens? How do you decide which allergen to ban? Although peanut allergies have gotten a lot of notoriety in the media and in our schools and appear to be one of the most common food allergens, they are not the only ones. There are allergies to milk, eggs, wheat, soy, fish, shellfish, and tree nuts. By banning one known food allergen, you may be setting a precedence for the request of banning other food allergens that children in your schools have a reaction to. Can you imagine trying to ban eggs and egg products from the school lunch program? Creating a ban that stigmatizes those with the allergy may be offensive and discriminatory. The majority of allergic children and adults who are peanut allergic want to be treated as normal people. Creating a ban that stigmatizes them is not always what they want. It also doesn't teach young children how to live with the allergy, which may be lifelong. Creative thinkers can devise options to provide safety for peanut allergic students or children with other food allergies without isolating them or restricting what other children bring in. This is an example of a sign that can be made for a table if you want a no peanut area in your cafeteria or classroom. Whenever you're dealing with special dietary requests, don't lose sight of the customer. The customer is the kids. Remember to take a step back and put yourself in the shoes of the child and the parent to help you gain understanding. There are school guidelines for managing students with food allergies. This is a 2-page handout and it lists responsibilities for family, school, and student. The following organizations participated in its development: the American School Food Service Association, which is currently now the School Nutrition Association, the National Association of Elementary School Principals, the National Association of School Nurses, National School Boards Association, and the Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network. These guidelines can be downloaded on the website given on your slide. The Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network also has a school food allergy program. This program is for elementary, intermediate, and high schools. If you haven't already purchased one, you can do so directly off from their website. It's a comprehensive multimedia program. It includes a CD, an EpiPen trainer, TwinJect trainer, a poster, and a binder filled with more than 100 pages of information and standardized forms. Thousands of schools across the country have used it to safely and successfully manage their students with food allergies. The website for ordering this resource is given in the slide. Other resources that may help you in setting up your policies for your school include USDA's Accommodating Children with Special Dietary Needs, the National Food Service Management Institute's Handbook for Children with Special Food and Nutrition Needs, special needs fact sheets that are also posted on the National Food Service Management Institute's website. The USDA Healthy Meals Resource System also has a link that spotlights resources at the National Agricultural Library. It gives information on diabetes management in school and child care, food allergies, variations in meal requirements, and other special dietary needs. The 2007 Guidelines for Use of Healthcare Professionals and Healthcare Procedures in a School Setting was developed by the state of Tennessee and can be downloaded as a resource or guidance when developing your school policies. The website for the Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network is also given here. Other resources that you may find helpful are the Celiac Disease Foundation, Celiac Sprue Association, Gluten Intolerance Group, American Diabetes Association. I would like to thank you for taking the time to view this webcast as all children will benefit by the cooperative efforts to meet their nutritional needs throughout the school day, including those children with special dietary needs. Thank you.